सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। So we were looking at the sadhana chatushtaya or anubandha-chatushtaya-nirUpaNam, sorry, where we are looking at the vishaya, prayojana, adhikari and sambandha. Now in this context, the adhikari, who is the adhikari for brahma vichara or brahma jijnasa? There only there is a difference of opinion, because Ramanuja and the further commentators, they say that karma vichara has to be done. Purva Mimamsa Shastra has to be, the Adhyayana has to be done. Then only Uttara Mimamsa, one has to continue. The Anantaryartham, the thereafter meaning is that after doing Purva Mimamsa Adhyayana, one has to do Uttara Mimamsa. Now, this is being challenged by saying that Purva Mimamsa or Karma Vichara is not necessary for Brahma Vichara. What Shankaracharya is saying is the Anantaryartha should be after gaining the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. One has the desire to know Brahman. Now, in this context, Bellangonda, the author, is also pointing out that out of the Sadhana Chatushtaya, Sadhana Trayam has been accepted even by Ramanuja in his own Bhashya, because even the Vishishtadvaitins have to talk about Karma Phala as Alpa and Asthira, correct? Karma Phala also is limited and transient. And Brahman is Ananta and Sthira. It is limitless and eternal, you can say. So, one has to aim for the limitless and the eternal result, which is Brahman, and not the Karma Phala, which is limited and transient. So, that is the Nitya Vastu Viveka. So, they have accepted this as a sadhana. Then, they have also accepted that Vairagya has to be there with reference to Karma Phala, whether it is here Ihartha or Amutrartha also, except for Vaikunta. Vaikunta also is actually Amutrartha, but they don't really consider it like that, I think. Other than Vaikunta, every other Amutrartha, one should have Vairagya. And Ihartha, of course, whatever is available here to pursue in this world, you should have dispassion towards that. Have dispassion towards also all the things which you may pursue in a loka later on after the death of this body. So the Vairagya also is accepted by the Vishishtadvaitin. And then Mumukshutvam also they accept, because one has to have the desire for moksha. Of course, that moksha again, what they mean by moksha is different, because they don't accept Jivan Mukti. For them, it is only Videha Mukti. So, the three sadhana traya, they have also accepted. And Ramanuja does not talk explicitly about the Shamadamadi, Satka Sampatti, even though the Upanishad itself talks about it, correct? So, up to this we saw. And so having accepted the three sadhanas, and the fourth one also, I don't think they can have any objection to that, correct? Why are they not able to accept sadhana chatushtaya sampatti anantaryam as the atha shabdartha? That I don't know why they are not able to accept like this. The author said yes, here, correct? Kutaha va na aham jane. He is saying that. I don't know why these people are not able to accept this as the anantaryartha. Continuing here, further, yacha sudarshanena uktam कर्म विचारानन्तरं ब्रह्म विचारस्य कर्तव्यत्वे कर्मणाम् अल्प अस्थिर फलत्व निर्णय सहित अनंत स्थिर फल आपात प्रतीतिः इत्ययं विशिष्टः हेतुः इति तदपि अयुक्तम्. So Sudarshana Suri, in his commentary on Ramanuja's Bhashya, is also saying this, what karma vichara anantaram, after the karma vichara, which is this study of the Purva Mimamsa, Brahma Vichara has to be done. For this, what is the hetu or the reason? The reason for that he is giving is what? There is a special reason. Why you have to first study or first analyze karma and then only you have to come to Brahman. What is that? Because by studying Purva Mimamsa only, you will get to know what? Karmanam alpa asthira phalatva nirnaya will be there. He claims that. In fact, that itself is very questionable because the Purva Mimamsa Shastra says that karma itself will give you ananta phala, because there are even some statements in the Shruti that Chaturmasya, whatever, the karma will give ananta phala, like this and all. There are statements. Of course, those have to be interpreted, but even then, the Amrita phala and all, it is said. Swarga itself is called Amrita. So, the one who studies Purva Mimamsa will only have the idea that karma phala itself is ananta and sthira. How can they have this nirnaya? One does not know, really speaking. And they also, the Purva Mimamsakas classify the entire Vedanta as Arthavadi, correct? They classify all the Veda Vakyas into 5 different categories: Vidhi, Nisheda, Arthavada, like that. And in that, they include the entire Vedanta as Arthavada only for them. In fact, that itself Bhashyakara doesn't accept. That's why the Purva Mimamsa principles entirely we cannot play in Uttara Mimamsa. So here, but he claims that Karmanam Alpa Asthira Palatva Nirnaya will be there, and along with that, what? You also have Apatata Jnanam, means what? You have some general knowledge that Brahman is the Ananta and Sthira Pala. That also you have, because anyway you have done Adhyayana, and you have also Sangha Veda Adhyayanam. If you do, you have some understanding of the meaning of the Veda Vakyas, and therefore you have a general knowledge. Apatata Pratiti also is there about Brahman being Nitya, and by doing analysis of karma, by studying Purva Mimamsa, you have also come to a conclusion that karma phala is alpa and asthira, and this is the Vishishta Hetu, he says. This is the special reason why one has to first do karma vichara, and after that only Brahma vichara has to be done. This is also untenable. Tadapi ayuktam. Why karma vicharaha hi Mimamsa Adhyayanam. So karma vichara is nothing but Mimamsa Adhyayana, Purva Mimamsa Adhyayana. ततः प्राक् पुरुषस्य कर्म फलम् अनन्तम् स्थिरमिति ततः पश्चात् अस्थिरमिति च बुद्धिः अस्ति इति अस्य अंशस्य पूर्वमेव खण्डितत्वात्. So we have already done khandana, or we have negated this view that, so normally if you do Mimamsa Adhyayana, after that what? People will only have the notion that karma phala itself is ananta and it is sthira. And after that, how can one gain the idea that it is astira, etc.? In fact, it is against any logic. So, After doing Purva Mimamsa one will have a buddhi or idea that karma phala is aktira, cannot be accepted by us. It has been already negated. Further what? Karma vicharanantaram karmanaha eva kartavyattvena brahma vicharasya akartavyatvat. Other than that, what? Why do you even analyze karma? Do karma, correct? Karma vichara by itself is not going to give you any phala. Karma by its very nature, first you have to know about the karma and then do the karma. By doing alone, one gets phala. After karma vichara, karma has to be done. That is where one's focus will be not in Brahma vichara. It cannot be there in Brahma vichara. And Brahma vichara should not be done. You have done karma vichara and you are serious about the conclusions arrived at after doing karma vichara. You should not be doing Brahma vichara. You should be doing whatever karma you have learned, correct? How to do it, etc. The iti kartavyata and all that. So further what? Yadi karma vicharanantaram avyavadhanena brahma vicharasya eva kartavyam tavyatvam tarhi karma vichara vidhanasya vayarthyapatte. Okay. So if you are actually supposed to do brahma vichara immediately after karma vichara, correct? Without any gap. Avyavadhanena means what? Without any gap or without any time lapse. If you are immediately supposed to do Brahma Vichara after doing Karma Vichara, then this Karma Vichara itself is useless because the Karma Vichara one does actually to know how to do the Karma, and therefore your focus should be only on doing the Karma and not in doing Brahma Vichara. So the Karma Vichara itself will become useless. Vayarthya apattehe. So there is a possibility that Karma Vichara will become useless. Further what? Nacha Karma Vicharanantaram Brahma Vicharam Vidhaya पश्चात ब्रह्म ज्ञान सहितं कर्म कर्तव्यम् इति वाच्यं ब्रह्म ज्ञानानन्तरं कृतकृत्यत्वेन कर्तव्य अनवशेषात्. Okay, so now the Purva Pakshi comes and says, no, what we are saying is you have to do karma vichara, then you have to do brahma vichara also immediately, and then so after doing brahma vichara you have brahma jnanam. Then along with this jnanam, you have to also do karma. This is the jnana karma samuchayavada, correct? Jnana and karma have to be done together, and that alone will give you moksha. So that is why we are saying this. It's not that we don't say that after doing karma vichara, one should not do karma or anything like that. Karma has to be done. But Brahma vichara also has to be done, and Brahma jnana one has to have, and along with this Brahma jnanam, again, one has to continue doing karma. That alone will give moksha. Therefore, there is no problem with whatever we are saying. If you say like that also is not proper. Why? Because once you have Brahma Jnana Anantaram Krita Krityattvena Kartavya Anavashesha. So the Kartavya Anavashesha means what? There is nothing left to do. Only if something is left to do for you after Brahma Jnanam, you will do it. But the Brahma Jnanam gives you Ananta Phalam. Brahma Jnanam, in fact, is that you are not even a Karta Bhokta anymore. And there are so many statements in Shruti and Smriti to say that the Brahmavid does not consider oneself as a Karta. And in fact, the Brahmavid has nothing to do with any karma phala. Why would the Brahmavid then do any karma? Right? Karma and karma phala are meaningless for the Brahmavid. And the Brahma Jnanam itself, it is as though you have fulfilled all your desires, correct? So, Oshnute Sarvan Kamaan Saha, like that Taittiriya Upanishad says. Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanamanantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so oshnute sarvan kamaan saha. So once you know this Brahman in your own buddhi guha as yourself, then what? Saha ashnute sarvan kaman. So you have now fulfilled all your desires, you have gained all your desires, you have obtained all your desires. Yugapad. Immediately it says. Simultaneously. Saha there is Yugapad Artha. Okay. So, simultaneously you have gained, you have obtained all your desires as though, therefore, there is nothing to be done, correct? That's why you are called a Kritakrityaha, means the Brahmavid is a Kritakrityaha, because for him everything which has to be done has already been done, means there is nothing which can be attained by gaining any karma phala. In fact, that jnanam has to come even upfront, correct? That's why we talk about nitya nitya vastu viveka and all that. Pariksha lokan karma chitan nasti akritaha kritena. Correct? All these things are there even in the Mundaka Upanishad. Therefore, there is nothing to be done for the Brahmavids. There is nothing left. Anavashesha is there. And then he is quoting the Shruti. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. This is Brihadaranyaka. And then Tarati Shokamatmavit. This is Chandogya. So the Brahmavid becomes Brahman. Brahmavid apnoti param. All these things mean the same thing. So the one who knows Brahman becomes Brahman. And one who knows Brahman or one who knows Bhuma passes over all shoka. There is no more shoka. There are Shrutis like this. And what? Even Bhagavan. This verse we can never forget. Etat buddha buddhiman syat. Tatratyascha bharata ityadi smriti shatacha. There are hundreds of smritis like this. This verse we can't forget, because every day we used to chant 15 chapter before we eat in the Gurukulam. We had that tradition, correct? So we used to chant the 15th chapter. This is the last. Etat buddha buddhiman syat. This is the last verse there. Kritakrityascha bharata. So iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam mayanagha. Etat buddha buddhiman syat. Kritakrityascha bharata. Like this, Bhagavan says, having known this secret shastra, correct? Means this Brahma Jnanam is a secret. Because even if you teach it to somebody and they are not ready, it is going to go above their head. They will not understand anything. It is an open secret that way. Therefore, having known this, what? Etat buddhva buddhiman, the one who is buddhiman or jnani, is also kritakrityaha, becomes the one who has done everything that is to be done, nothing more to be done. So all these things are pointing that there is no question of any karma after gaining this Brahma Jnanam. Okay, yasya tu Brahma vicharanantaramapi kartavya sheshaha asti sana kritsna Brahmavit. So if somebody after knowing Brahman or doing Brahma Vichara comes to a conclusion that I have something more to do, let us say, something is left for me to do, means that person has not fully understood Brahman. He doesn't have complete knowledge of Brahman. Kritsna Brahmavit na, that person is not fully a jnani, we have to say. Some pratibandha is still there, we have to say. Correct? Kincha karma brahma jnanayoho tamas tejasoriva sahityamapi durupapadam. So we cannot accept, okay, that. Why? Because karma and brahma jnana are like tamas and tejas. They are like darkness and light. Karma is darkness. It is basically ajnana karya. Without ajnanam, there can never be any karma. And jnanam destroys this ajnanam. In fact, jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. Like that, Bhagavan says, even in the Gita, correct? The jnanagni destroys all karma. Therefore, they are like darkness and light only, really. And they being together. Sahityam means combination. Like that, here this Sahitya is not literature. Sahitya Academy and all we have. Sahitya also means literature. Here, Sahityam means being together, or a combination of karma and jnana is not possible. It is durupapada. Therefore, what? Yaditu brahma vicharopi karma vicharavat karma sheshaha karma upayogitaya tarhi athatah dharma jignasa ityarabdhe Mimamsha Shastra eva asyapi pratipadanam sya. Okay, another important point here he is making. What is that? See, karma vichara has karma shesha. That means after doing karma vichara, one has to do karma, correct? So karma is still left to be done. Once you analyze the karma and know how to do it, still you have to do that karma, correct? The karma has to be done, that is still there as a shesha. It is still left to be done. Now, if you say Brahma Vichara also is like that. So you analyze Brahman and after that you have to do karma. Karma Shesha is there even for Brahma Vichara. Then, and some karma is useful, okay, to gain moksha, let us say. Karma Upayogitaya. Because there is Upayogitvam for karma. Karma is useful with reference to attaining moksha. Then that has to be mentioned in the Dharma Jijnasa itself, correct? In the Purva Mimamsa itself, must have discussed that. It should have said that Brahma Vichara is not enough. There is Karma Shesha. And then this is the karma you have to do. This is how you have to do, etc. They have to have discussed that in the Purva Mimamsa Shastra itself. But nothing like that is there. Understand that. That is why there is a separate Uttara Mimamsa Shastra. So, in the Purva Mimamsa itself, it should have been revealed that you have to do Brahma Vichara and then there is some karma left to be done and this is the karma you have to do, this is how you have to do, etc. But that has not been revealed in the Purva Mimamsa and we separately have a Uttara Mimamsa. So, if that is the case, you should not have even started Uttara Mimamsa, I say. So, natu athato Brahma Jignaseti Jignasa iti prithak asya arambhaha. So, na arambhaha. So, you cannot start another Shastra for that purpose. Therefore, whatever you are saying doesn't make any sense. Okay. That one has to first do Purva Mimamsa Adhyayana and then only come to Brahma Vichara. Okay. Now, still the Purva Pakshi is not going to get out of the Jnana Karma Samuchayavada. So, here again it is there. Okay. So, Nanu Tvataha Asthira Palakamapi Karma Brahma Jnana Sahitam Tat Ananta Sthira Palakam Bhavati iti Kritva Ananta Sthira Palaka Karma Karanartham Karma Brahma Jnana Dvayasya Avashyakataya Tatra Karma Jnanasya Purva Mimamsaya Jnatatvat Brahma Jnanayoho Uttara Mimamsa Arabhyate Athato Brahma Jignaseti. So even then they are sticking to the same argument. What is their argument? They are saying, okay, karma by itself, kevalam karma only gives you asthira palam. Okay, and also it is alpa and asthira phala it gives. But if you do the same karma along with jnanam, brahma jnana sagitam, sat, if it is along with brahma jnanam, what? That whatever karma which gives you non-eternal result, asthira phalam, that itself becomes sthira palakam. Okay, ananta sthira palakam, it will give you limitless and eternal result, same karma. So that is what we are saying. Therefore, what? First, to do this, that means first you should know how to do karma also, then you should have Brahma Jnanam also. That is why we are saying you have to read both. Okay. So for Karma Jnana, you have to have studied Purva Mimamsa. From that only the Karma Jnanam is born. Correct? Karma Jnanasya Purva Mimamsaya Jatatvat. Okay. And then what? Brahma Jnana Jnanaya, for the sake of Brahma Jnana, now you have to do Uttara Mimamsa, you have to start Uttara Mimamsa. So both are required. So Karma Brahma Jnana Dvayasya Avashyakataya is what their argument. Therefore, Athato Brahma Jignasa like this new Uttara Mimamsa can be started. Means even for that what Ma Evam, it is not like that. It is not in this manner. Why? Yadi evam karma vicharaha brahma vicharascha iti ubhayam karma karanarthataya karma shesha bhutam tarhi karma vicharanantaryam brahma vicharasya na niyantum shakyate. Brahma vicharanantaryasyapi karma vicharasya sambhavat. He is giving a very good argument. He says, see, you are saying no, both are required, correct? So, this sahasamuchaya or samasamuchaya it is called. Samasamuchaya means what? There are people, again the Samuchayavada itself, there are different types of Samuchayavada can be there, none of which Bhashyakara accepts. Okay. But the main proponents have something called Samasamuchaya, where karma and Brahmajnana both equally are the cause for moksha. Okay, that is the Samasamuchaya. If you are talking about Samasamuchaya, or even if it is not Samasamuchaya also, you cannot have any order in that, correct? That first, if both are the reason for moksha, correct? Karma vichara also has to be there, Brahma vichara both. So iti ubhayam karma karanarthataya, and both are also again after that we have to anyway do karma only, correct? Both of them have only karma sheshatvam. So karma shesha bhutam means what? They are both in the form that after doing vichara of karma, after doing vichara of Brahman, you have to still do something, means then you cannot have a niyama, correct? Karma vicharanantaryam Brahma vicharasya na niyantum shakyate. You cannot say that there is a niyama that one has to do Brahma vichara only after doing karma vichara. It can be the other way also, correct? Because both of them anyway have, they are all in the form of karma shesha only, correct? That means what? Both of them have something left to be done. After gaining this knowledge, if both of them have something left to be done, then what is the difference between them? And you cannot say that there has to be an order also there. So Brahma Vichara Anantaryasyapi Karma Vicharasya Sambhava. So you can also do Brahma Vichara first and then do Karma Vichara. So why are you insisting on doing Karma Vichara first? That doesn't make any sense. Then what? Tathacha Athato Dharma Jignasa Ityatra Atha Shabdasya Brahma Vicharanantaryam Ityeva Taha Nato Adhyena Anantaryam Iti. Then we can even take the meaning of Atha Shabda in the Purva Mimamsa first sutra also, it is Athato Dharma Jignasa, correct? There also the Atha has Anantaryartha. Why cannot we say that the meaning of that Atha is that Brahma Vichara Anantarya? After doing Brahma Vichara, one has to now do Karma Vichara or Dharma Vichara. So it need not be Adhyayana Anantarya, correct? Therefore what? Tatra api Vivada eva Samprataha. Therefore what? There is only a debate now, right? It is a moot point or whatever. So you have not come to any, we cannot come to any conclusion really, which has to be done first. Both can be done, or if you say both have to be done, then it can be done in any order, correct? So what is the vivada here? What is the debate? Evam karma vicharanantaram brahma vicharaha kartavyaha kim yadva brahma vicharanantaram karma vicharaha kartavyaha iti samshaye vinigamaka bhava ubhayasyapi asiddhihi. So in this manner, this is the vivada or the debate or the discussion. What is that? Whether we have to do karma vichara first and then do brahma vichara, or brahma vichara first and then karma vichara. Like this, there is a doubt. Here, vinigamaka abhava means what? Vinigamaka means choosing one of the two alternatives, correct? You should have some clear logic or clear reason for choosing one of the two alternatives. That is not there here, he says. Vinigamaka abhavat. Vinigamaka is not there. Therefore, both of them, you cannot say that only this or that. Or you can say anyway you can do. Then it will become like that. Okay. So Ubhayasyapi asiddhi. Ubhayasyapi asiddhi here means what? You cannot say that you have to do karma vichara, then only Brahma vichara. That also you cannot say. Nor you can say you have to do Brahma vichara, then only you have to do karma vichara. Both you cannot establish. Okay, because amongst the two alternatives, you don't have any clear cut reason for choosing one as the first thing. Okay, nacha karma vicharat prak mumukshayaha eva anudayat na brahma vichara praptihi iti vachyam. Okay, the other thing Purva Pakshi is bringing up is what he says. No, there has to be an order. Why? Because without doing karma vichara, one cannot have any mumuksha, any desire for moksha. Okay. So, without the mumuksha, we also say that there cannot be any Brahma Vichara. Correct? They also have to say that you have to have desire for moksha. That's why you are doing Brahma Vichara. So, this is their argument, but anyway, what? Even that you cannot say. Why? Karma Vicharat Pragapi, Karma Vicharat Paschadiva, Brahma Jnana Sahitat Karmanaha Eva Mokshaha. So, whatever, what you are saying is, whether you do Karma Vichara or not, correct? Karma Vicharat Prak means what? Before doing Karma Vichara. Or Karma Vicharat Paschadiva. Or you have done Karma Vichara now. Okay, like that. So, even before doing Karma Vichara also, like even doing Karma Vichara after Karma Vichara, in both cases what? Moksha is only due to Brahma Jnana Sahita Karmanaha. That is your argument, correct? Moksha will be there only by Samuchaya of Jnana and Karma, Brahma Jnana and Karma. That is Moksha. Natu Kevala Karmanaha iti Jnatum Shakyatva. So, you don't have to do entire Mimamsa Shastra Adhyanam to arrive at the conclusion that only Jnana Karma Samuchaya will give you moksha. That can be gained through some other study of some Purana or something else also, correct? Or even Apadata Jnanam here is good enough. You don't have to do the entire Purva Mimamsa Shastra Adhyanam to know that Jnana Karma Samuchaya only will give you moksha. So, that is what he is pointing. He is saying you can know even without doing the entire Karma Vichara, you can know that Kevala Karma cannot give you moksha and only Brahma Jnana Sahita Karma will give you moksha. So why should you do then the entire study of Purva Mimamsa? That's what he is saying. See, this Jnanam, this Apatata Jnanam can be there. Even from, like again, Veda Dhyana and all that, correct? Sangha Veda Dhyana. Even going along with your contention here. Understand that. So going along with your contention, even this piece of knowledge can be gained without study of the Purva Mimamsa. In fact, Purva Mimamsa basically only talks about Kevalam Karma. That is the another point we already pointed out. So it's all completely, I don't know how these people have made all these arguments. It doesn't make any sense really. Further, what he says, nahi karma vichare vidyate iyam amshaha yena karma vicharam vina tasya durvi vigneyatvam uchyeta. Okay, see, this karma vichara, in that, this is not there, he is saying. What is this? This samsha is not there. What? That by without doing karma vichara, this particular point that this Brahma Jnanam and karma together alone will give you moksha. This point, to know this, unless you do karma vichara, you cannot know. It is durviknyaya. It is very difficult to know and all. You cannot say. He is saying this. Why? Because he is giving one sloka from Purana. In fact, I tried to locate this verse in some Purana. I don't know which Purana he is quoting. See, our people, another problem is they just say Shruti Purana like that. We have to go and dig for references here. So maybe we have to see which Purana this is. Or most probably it may be even Bhagavata, I think. I have to look into it again. So he is quoting one verse here. Of course, this can be interpreted in different ways, but it can be interpreted for Jnana Karma Samuchaya. What is this? Prapti Hetur Vijnanam Karma Chauktam Mahamune Tha Tapascha Vidya Sanyuktam Bheshajam Mahate. So, Ityadi Vachanani Puranadishu Santihi. So, for this moksha prapti, the hetu is what? The Vijnana and Karma, both are said by this Mahamuni, whoever is the Mahamuni here. And so, because, why further? Because tapas and Vidya, both together, is the greatest medicine. Okay, Bhishache Bhavaroginam and all we say, even for the Dakshinamurti, correct? He is the one who gives the medicine for this samsara, bhava. So here Bheshajam basically is that which frees you from this disease of samsara. It is the medicine for that. And for that, both tapas and vidya together, they have to go. It is what is said here. Of course, the meaning of the tapas here, what it is and all, we can debate. But from this, one can also take to the conclusion that this jnana karma samuchaya will give you moksha. So, like this Purana Vachana and all is there. Therefore, what tasmat brahma jnana sahitat karmanaha mokshaha iti vadinaha tava mate brahma vicharasya karma vicharanantaryam niyamtum na shakyate. Therefore, what if you can know this from this Purana Vakya itself? Therefore, to know that only this moksha will be gained through brahmajnana and karma together. And that's what is your vada, correct? Tava vadinaha tava mate. In your mata, you cannot mandate that one has to first to do karma vichara, after that only one has to do brahma vichara. Because why? Because he further explains that etena ghata nishpattehe kulaladiva brahma vicharasya karma vicharaha purva bhavitvena niyataha iti Shuta Prakashika Parasta. So, like in Shuta Prakashika, it is said that the karma vichara has to precede Brahma vichara, and there is a special reason and all he gave, like even saying that to produce a ghata, okay, the kulala has to rotate the part, sorry, the wheel, correct? So, or the kulala has to be there. The potter has to be there, and potter has to use the whatever stick and rotate the wheel. Then only one can make the pot. So you can say that action has to precede the creation of the pot or the production of the pot. Like this, here you cannot give purva bhavitva, means what, that the karma vichara has to have taken place, then only brahma vichara can happen. Like this, you cannot establish. Therefore, whatever is said in the Shuddha Prakashika has been now negated. It cannot be accepted by us. Why? He further explains that kulal adi abhave ghata nishpattivate karma vichara bhave brahma vichara bhava asiddhe, he says. See, if the kulala's vyapara is not there, the potter's activities are not there, then ghata cannot be produced. That we all know. Like that, can you say that without the karma vichara, and if it is not there, brahma vichara also will not be there? Brahma vichara cannot be done means that cannot be established by you. Okay. So therefore, what brahma vicharam vihitavatapi karma karanartham karma vicharasya sukaratvena brahma vicharasyapi karma vichara purva bhavitva siddhe. Further, what even the one who has been ordained to do brahma vichara, even he has to, for the purpose of doing karma, because according to you jnana karma samuchaya only will give you moksha. Even for that person, the karma vichara can be done. Somebody can do brahma vichara first, and then do karma vichara later, with an understanding that by only doing karma along with brahma jnanam I will get moksha. Even though that understanding may be faulty, but that is a possibility, correct? Then he can very well do that. Sukaratvena. Therefore, brahma vichara has to be done before karma vichara. There is a possibility of brahma vichara happening before karma vichara. Even if that possibility is there, you cannot say that there is a niyama, correct? That is what is being pointed out. Therefore, whatever is said in the Shuddha Prakashika, it is not possible. There is asiddhi of that. Further, what? Kincha jnanam vinaiva karma vinapi moksha bhava mukshutvam dharma jignasoho api avashyakam eva tataha sanjata moksha abhilashaha brahma vicharam vidadhyad iti vachanam api ayuktam eva. So further, so like even without jnana one cannot have moksha, like that without karma also one cannot have moksha, correct? And further, what mumukshutvam itself is not possible without doing dharma jijnasa, and mumukshutvam is required for brahma jnanam. This is their argument for the whatever the krama. Therefore, dharma jijnasa is necessary first. this also, why? Because only one who has a moksha abhilasha or the desire for moksha will do Brahma Vichara, and that desire for moksha can come only by doing Dharma Jignasa, or the one who has Dharma Jignasa or the desire to know Dharma. Therefore, it is this whatever krama has to be there, even if you say that, that also is ayukta. Okay. Why? Because yetena Dharma Vicharaha Brahma Vichara Samagri iti Shuta Prakashika Parasta. So, from this also your own argument, because karma vichara will not directly be a samagri for brahma vichara. If you say this, it will only be a samagri for mumukshutvam. Understand that. It will not be a direct cause. It will become an indirect cause. Even then, if you say this also, that dharma jignasa will lead you to mumuksha, and mumukshutvam will, again, because of mumukshutvam only you will do brahma vichara. Even by this, even accepting this at face value, the Sutta Prakashika statement that there is a Vishesha Hetu is gone. It cannot be said that way. Then Karma Vichara will not become a direct Samagri or whatever, the ingredient for doing Brahma Vichara. So even then your argument is gone, he says. And further what? Karma Vichara Samagri Tvasya Brahma Vicharepi Satvat. The other argument is the Brahma Vichara also can become a Samagri for Karma Vichara. So, Karma Vichara Samagritvam can be there for Brahma Vichara, he says, the other way around. Therefore, what are you guys talking about? So, Brahma Vicharam Kritavan, he Kevalat Brahma Jnanat Swabhishta Moksha Siddhya Tadartham Jnana Rahitam Jnana Sahitam Karma Chikirshuhu Karma Vicharam Vidyate. So, it is possible, like I said, that the one who has done Brahma Vichara also, then after doing Brahma Vichara, he understands that Kevala Brahma Jnanat. So from only knowing Brahman, he does not attain moksha for whatever reason. Let us say he didn't go to the correct guru or did not have the qualifications. Okay. Therefore, he didn't get moksha. Still has what? Atmavit Tarati Shokam means still this fellow is having shoka after doing Brahma Vichara also. Means there is some pratibandha is there, let us say. So then he comes to a conclusion that I have to do Naya Saitam Karma. I have to do karma. Then only I can get moksha. Along with Brahma Jnanam, I have to do karma. Like this, one person has come to a conclusion, means then he becomes desirous to do karma vichara, correct? He becomes karma chikir shuhu, karma vicharam vidhatte, he says. So, the one who is desirous like this, for him, karma vichara can be mandated. So, this way also one can say, and therefore the Brahma vichara becomes a samagri for karma vichara. You cannot say, so the other way around. See, mumuksha will be there by doing karma vichara. Therefore, after that only you have to have Brahma jignasa. But the other way around also you can say, you did Brahma vichara. You think that you have not got moksha. Now you think that no, I have to do karma also along with moksha, along with this jnanam. And therefore you get a desire to do karma. And therefore you have to do now karma vichara. So this way also it is possible. Therefore what? Nacha karma vichara vicharam akritavataha mumuksha na syaditi vachyam. Also, whatever you say that unless one does this karma vichara, one cannot have mumuksha, that also we don't accept. That also he cannot say really. Why? Sangha vedadhyanena puranadi patanena bhaya grantha patanena cha tasyaha sambhavaditi. So, uh, so by doing only Sangha Veda Adhyanam or even by reading Puranas, etc., or Bhaya Grantha Patanena means, I think, Bhaya means literally frightening and all that, or what it really means here, we have to see. But basically, some people get attracted to Vedanta by having some personal tragedy and all that, correct? Of course, it is called Smashana Vairagya. It may not last, but Due to that also, you may suddenly start thinking about your fundamental problem. Correct? Everybody has topical problems, which anyway everybody has every day. Correct? If you get up in the morning, even if you require a coffee, means that is a topical problem. Who will make the coffee? If somebody is there, it is fine. If nobody is there, you have to make it yourself. And then next, lunch who will make? All these things are topical problems. You will have that. But by solving the topical problems, it doesn't mean that the topical problems will vanish or anything. They keep coming every day also. But it's not a big deal. One can manage that. But suddenly one gets this recognizes a fundamental problem of I being a limited jiva. Being a limited jiva, I am susceptible to all these suffering. Is there any way I can get rid of this suffering totally? Is there anything I can do? After doing that, I can rest contented that I don't have to do anything more. I am completely satisfied with myself. I cannot be any more susceptible to suffering, etc. Is there something like that which I can achieve, which I can pursue? So such kind of a thinking is means now you are trying to address the very fact that I am susceptible to all these things, topical problems or any kind of problem itself. And that I want to get rid of that susceptibility, that I am subject to shoka, etc. itself should go away. If you want to address that, then you are addressing something fundamental, correct? And to address that, anything can trigger you. It can be some personal tragedy in life, or it need not be also. It can come through some the thought process, correct? Over a period of time, you have some thought process, you can do whatever thought experiments and come to a conclusion that yes, whatever normal people consider as success in life, etc., they are all useless really, because even those who have achieved all that also, you cannot claim really that they are happy, correct? Because generally people go after arthakama. Even if you go after arthakama, you have all the wealth in the world also, even rich people are unhappy. Or some people are going after pleasures. Even those who go after all kinds of pleasure also, they are unhappy. People want to gain power, people want to gain fame, but even powerful people are unhappy. Those who are famous are particularly maybe more unhappy, I think. So like this, celebrities only put up a show for us. In reality, we don't know what they are what our feeling, etc. That's why some of them even commit suicide and all that. So there is no guarantee that achieving anything in this world, I can rest contented with myself. It is not possible, in fact. So therefore, I can decide to pursue something more fundamental, to get rid of my fundamental problem that I am a limited being itself is to be questioned, because that has been taken for granted, and then you are doing everything. But is that notion, which is really an avichara siddha, correct? That I am a limited jiva, this individual itself is avichara siddha. You have not even analyzed that. Is it your very nature? This individuality, is it my very nature? Means you cannot really, if you analyze, you cannot say it is your nature. Why? Because the individuality comes and goes. The individuality is changing, in fact. In waking, you have one individuality. In dream, you can have some other individuality. In deep sleep, there is no individuality. Then how can you say it is your very nature or anything like that? It is transient, in fact. So once you analyze that, then you are actually addressing the fundamental problem. So that can happen. It does not, one does not have to do all this Purva Mimamsa Adhyayana, etc. Okay. So it can come, it can be triggered by all these things, this kind of a thought process. That is what is said in the Mundaka Upanishad, correct? So this can be the Sambhava, Tasyaha Sambhavat. In all these ways, it is possible by doing Sangha Veda Dhyayana or reading Purana, or by having some experience or even reading about others' experiences. Therefore, whatever you say is not correct. So what? Okay, now what? Nanu ghatasya danda chakra shaliladivat brahma vicharasya karma vicharaha purobhavitvena niyata samagri ma bhun nama sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi api katam sa syaditi chet. So now the Purobhakti says, okay, let me accept that there is no Purobhavitvam for karma vichara with reference to Brahma vichara. Like even the Gata has the Purobhavitva, correct? Gata means production of the Gata has to be preceded by some activity, okay, on the part of the potter, like using the stick to rotate the wheel, etc. Like that, we don't have any Purobhavitvam. I accept Mabhut. Let it not be there. But how can you claim the same for Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, he now asks? How can you say only if you have Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, one can do Brahma Vichara? How can you say that? Means now we say, now listen to the answer. Iti chet uchyate. What is the answer? Danda chakradi abhave ghata nispattivate sadhana sampatti abhave brahma vichara nispattehe iti. So the short answer is what? Like without the activity of stick etc. and wheel etc., the ghata nispatti cannot be there. The production of ghata cannot be there. Like that, even Brahma Vichara cannot happen without the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti being there. So this we say. Okay. Further what? Nacha Sadhana Sampanna api Bhahavaha Akrita Brahma Vicharaha Drishyante iti kritva Sadhana Sampatti Sattve Brahma Vichara Sattvamiti Niyantum na Shakyate iti Vachyam. Okay, now the Purva Pakshi goes to the other way around. Why? He says, okay, let us say that Sadhana Chatushtaya is there for somebody, but even many of them do not do Brahma Vichara, even though they have Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, they do not do Brahma Vichara, let us say. Like this, I see he is saying, but even that is doubtful because if you have Mumukshutvam, Tivra Mumukshutvam, you have no other option, correct? But let us say, even having Tivra Mumuksha, you are born in some other culture, you don't have access to this Brahma Jnanam, etc., so you may not be able to do it. Okay? So, even the one who has sadhana chatushtaya sampatti does not do Brahma Vichara. Like this, there is a possibility. Therefore, how can you say that one has to have sadhana chatushtaya? Now he is putting the other way around. It is not correct. Correct? The Purva Pakshi is talking about this sadhana chatushtaya being there. Always Brahma Vichara should be there. We are not saying that. We are saying the other way around. Correct? It is like saying wherever there is fire, there has to be smoke. No, that is not the Vyapti, even in the Anumana, correct? The Vyapti is the other way around. Wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire, correct? And wherever there is no fire, there will not be smoke. That is the Vyapti we are talking about, the Anvaya Vitireka. You cannot say wherever there is fire, there will be smoke. There can be a fire without smoke also, correct? Smokeless fire is possible, but fireless smoke is not possible, is what we are saying. So we'll put it the other way around now. So you cannot say like this and then attack us. Why? Because now he says that na asmabihi sadhana sampatti sattve brahma vichara sattvam iti anvaya vyaptihi uchyate. So we are not saying that if sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is there, then brahma vichara will happen. We are not saying that. In fact, we are saying the other way around, he says. Kintu sadhana sampatti abhave Brahma vichara bhavaha iti vetireka vyaptihi uchyata iti. So we are talking about the vetireka vyapti, like even saying if there is no fire, there cannot be any smoke. Correct? We are not saying if there is fire, there will be smoke always. That need not be the case. But for smoke to be there, fire has to be there. Like that, for Brahma vichara to happen, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti has to be there. If sadhana chatushtaya sampatti is not there, Brahma vichara cannot happen. That is what we are saying. Further what? Nahi danda chakradi sadbhava matrena ghatodayaha parantu danda chakradi abhave ghata nispattihi ityeva tatrapi niyamaha. So even in the case of pot etc., just because the danda and chakra etc. are there, correct? You cannot say the pot will be produced. Okay. Their Sadbhava alone is not enough. But the Ghatanishpati is not possible without them being there. Even there also, the Vitireka Vyapti only is important. This is in any Vyapti or any invariable concomitance. This is the type of invariable concomitance we talk about. So even there, that is the niyama. Okay, that is the rule there also. Therefore, what tasmat ghata nishpattehe kulaladi कुलालादिवत् ब्रह्मविचारस्य साधनचतुष्टय सम्पत्ति एव सामग्री न तु कर्मविचारः इति अनवद्यम्. Therefore, now this this has been now established beyond all doubts, debate, etc. What is that? Like even for producing the pot, you should have the activity of the potter, etc. Like that, for the Brahma Vichara, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti has to be there before, and that is the samagri, or that is the ingredient for Brahma Vichara. That Purva Bhavitam has to be there. That is the cause for this. And Karma Vichara is not anywhere in the picture here. This is now established clearly. And now what? With this, the Atha Shabda Vicharaha is over, along with the anubandha-chatushtaya-nirnaya. So the Anantaryartha has been established beyond doubt that Anantarya is Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti Anantarya is the meaning. It is not Karma Vichara Anantarya. That is completely untenable. Okay. So of course, for all these things, we can give a lot of Upanishad quotation. Here it is not very clear. He has simply said that it has to be there before, correct? But just to give you some idea, if you take Mundaka Upanishad, the Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka is very clear, correct? Because it says Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan Nasti Akritaha Kritena Brahmanaha Nirveda Mayat, and all that also is there. So both Vairagya and Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka is there right there. Then only Sa Gurumeva Tad Vijnanartham Sa Gurumeva Abhigache Shrotyam Brahmanishtam and all is there. So that is the Brahma Vichara. So the Brahma Vichara can be there only if you have Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka and Vairagya. That comes out from there. And then for Mumukshutvam, you can take even Maitreyi Brahmana, correct? Because Yajnavalkya offers so much wealth. He was such a wealthy person and he is giving her 50% of his wealth. But then she asks, is Amritatvam, can I gain Amritatvam with all this wealth? He says, Vittena Naiva Asha. There is no hope for you to gain Amritatvam with all this wealth and all. Then she asks for, now you teach me then, what will give me Amritatvam? Means that shows, or even Nachiketa story also is there. Tavaiva Vahaha, Tava Nritya Gite and all that he says. Even there, Vairagya is also there and Mumukshutvam also is there. So, and finally, Shanto, Danto, all this, that quotation also is there. So, from all these things, it is very clear that from Shuddhi Pramana only, the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti is the Samagri for Brahma Vichara, and Brahma Vichara will give you Brahma Jnanam, and Brahma Jnanam alone is Moksha. This has been established here. Okay, the next is Atash Shabda Vicharaha, the Ataha Shabdaha, that we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.